Agriculture Department and the Bureau of Quarantine step up measures to prevent entry of African swine fever in the country. The Philippine inflation slows to 5.1% in December of 2018.
Pag strictly in-enforce mo, madadala ang tao.
And the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority to implement higher fines for illegal parking and road obstruction beginning Monday. Good evening. The Philippine government steps up its monitoring amid the outbreak of African swine fever in other countries. Here's why from Ray Pelayo.
The Bureau of Quarantine has established footbath facilities in different parts of the country as part of the Department of Agriculture's measures to prevent the entry of African swine fever in the country. The footbath will disinfect passengers from any virus that might endanger the country's swine industry. Since August 2018, the Department of Agriculture has been imposing ban on the entry of pork and pork-based products from 13 countries including China, Latvia, Romania, Hungary, Russia, Poland, Ukraine, Belgium, South Africa, Czech Republic, Moldova, Zambia, and Bulgaria. Earlier, Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol relieved the entire quarantine team of Ninoy Aquino International Airport for not instituting his order to install footbaths due to procurement issues.
Halimbawa, nakapasok, anong impact mo sisirain natin ng buong industriya? Simply because sabihin mo sa akin na wala pa po kasi kaming procurement. Napakadali naman nun eh. Napakadali naman gawin yun. Kumuha ka na ng basang sako dyan, ilagay mo dyan sa pwede na eh.
Meanwhile, the Meat Importers and Traders Association is confident to have alternative countries to import pork from amid the ongoing outbreak of African swine fever. However, they cannot assure that the prices will remain stable as they see a possible spike in the price of pork products in the world market.
It could be offset by supplies from North America. So we have options.
Meanwhile, the Agri-Group Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG argued that since there is enough supply of local pork in the market, they see no reason for the prices of pork to go up.
Bumabang ang local live weight price from 130 dati, naging 120. So wala tayong nakikitang problema.
Amid the ASF scare, Agriculture Secretary Manny Piñol asks the public to cooperate and calls on returning vacationers and overseas Filipino workers to refrain from bringing in pork products so as not to experience inconveniences at inspection areas. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The headline inflation rate of the country slows to 5.1% based on the latest report of the Philippine Statistics Authority. Rosalie Cos tells us why.
The slower movement of prices of food, non-alcoholic beverages, and transportation decelerated the Philippines' headline inflation rate to 5.1% in December 2018, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. PSA cited the minimum jeepney fare rollback of 1 peso and the series of fuel price reductions in December as contributing factors that helped ease inflation. In Metro Manila, inflation also slowed down to 4.8% last month from the 5.6% in November. While in regions outside Metro Manila, consumer prices also moved at a slower pace at 5.3% in December. Also, based on the PSA report, in areas outside Metro Manila, the lowest annual inflation was observed in Cordillera Administrative Region with 3.4%, while the highest annual rate is observed in Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao or ARMM with 7.5%. Last month's inflation pace is lower than the November 2018 inflation rate of 6%. However, it is still faster than the headline inflation rate of 2.9% reported in December 2017. Last September to October 2018, the country's inflation rate jumped to a 9-year high of 6.7%. Malacanang attributes the slower inflation in the last 2 months to the government's actions like intensifying importation of agricultural products such as rice. Despite this development, the palace assures the government will not be complacent in monitoring prices of basic goods and commodities to ease the burden of the Filipino people. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
President Rodrigo Duterte conducted an aerial inspection late this afternoon over areas affected by Typhoon Usman in Camarines Sur and Albay. He particularly checked Iriga City, Nabua, Buhi-Milaor, and Bulacan, Camarines Sur, as well as areas hit by landslides such as Tiwi, Albay, and Sangay, Camarines Sur. The chief executive was accompanied by former special assistant to the president, Bongo. The president also held situation briefing in Camarines Sur with local chief executives of various national government agencies. In the meeting, he stressed his willingness to abolish the road board and allocate its budget to other projects such as flood control and a promise to prioritize the dredging of the Bicol River.
Kausapin ko si Senate President pati si Speaker, pati kayo. Wala akong objection kung tanggalin. Tatanggalin ko talaga yan. It cannot remain there as a corruption dyan. Ilagay ko DPWH or what, payag ako unahin kayo dito. You'll have the first. So, yung first project, kasi tayo man nag-usap dito, I'll commit to you that the very first projects that will be undertaken under that fund, if it's transferred to a DPWH or sa agriculture, okay ako.
After facing several issues like price hikes in 2018, Filipinos are still hopeful for a better year ahead. Eileen Cerudo tells us why.
Based on the survey of Social Weather Stations or SWS in 2018, 92% of Filipinos are hopeful or optimistic for this year. Filipinos are always known for their optimism despite problems and disasters they experience. No matter how many storms enter the country or no matter how high floods will be, Filipinos can still find a silver lining and manage to stay positive and helpful. Filipinos are still ready to face hardships and even manage to make trending memes on issues like spate of price hikes, from oil prices, fare hikes, and even commodity prices like chilies. And for this year, Filipinos carry this optimism, and no matter how many problems the countries faced in the previous year, they still hope that this 2019, they will be able to see change.
Sana maging maayos yung mga bilihin, babaan ng tax sa mga krudo, di ba? Para makatulong sa taong bayan.
Yung unang-una po sa traffic, ay mabawasan para mas magandang walang pamumuhay itong ngayong 2019.
Yung mga pamasahe, yung pagkain, yung tuition fee ng mga bata, paano yung mga ordinary lang na kagaya namin, paano kami makakapagpaaral ng mga anak? Kung ang taas-taas ng tuition fee, ang taas-taas ng mga bilihin.
The Malacanang also expressed optimism for this year because of the projects they launched in 2018. But several citizens have a request for the government.
Nananawagan po ako sa pamahalaan na kung maaari, i-maintain nyo po ang presyo ng mga bilihin.
Others, on the other hand, say change should not just come from the government, but every citizen should work together for change.
Kulang ng disiplina sa tao. Minsan, yung tao na mismo yung gumagawa ng makakasama sa kanila lahat.
Eileen Cerudo, UNTV, News and Rescue.
The cases of firework-related injuries has reached more than 300, but still lower when compared to last year's figures, according to the Health Department. Despite a decline in number, a lawmaker will still push for the passage of a measure that seeks a total firecracker ban. Nel Maribok tells us why.
The Department of Health reports that the number of firework-related injuries has increased to 307 since it started its monitoring last December 21, 2018. Most of the victims sustained blast and burn injuries. Some needed amputation while others sustained eye injuries. Despite the increase, DOH says the current tally is still lower by 40% when compared to the same period last year. DOH has earlier attributed the decline to the executive order of President Rodrigo Duterte that limits the manufacture, distribution, sale and use of firecrackers in the country. But for Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, there is still a need to pass a law that will totally ban the use of firecrackers in the country. Gatchalian says he supports the proposal that seeks to only allow the government, malls and other commercial establishments to use fireworks and other pyrotechnic devices. The issuance of permits will also be strictly monitored. The Bureau of Fire Protection also backs proposals to implement a total firecracker ban in the country.
Napakaganda rin kasi sa ibang bansa kasi nakita natin na ganun din yun na hindi nagpapaputok ang mga tao talaga. So total ban talaga kung hindi magkakaroon lang ng mga community fireworks display na stay sponsor ng mga mayayaman na company o kaya yung government.
The BFP believes that the measure will not hugely impact the firecracker industry.
Mga imported na yan, yung ating mga produkto. So, yung mga sinasabi dito na manufacturing company natin sa Pilipinas ay nag-i-import na ng mga finished product coming from China. Then, nire-repack na lang dito, pinapalitan ng labeling. Parang ganun lang, nililabel lang ng local.
Some cities and municipalities have already implemented ordinances that ban the use of firecrackers during holiday festivities. Proposals pushing for the total ban of firecrackers remain pending in Congress. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA is set to impose higher penalties on illegally parked vehicles as well as other traffic violations in Metro Manila. Joanano tells us why.
Illegally parked vehicles are commonly seen in almost all roads in Manila and Quezon City, as well as in various areas in Metro Manila. This leads to traffic congestion, and this has been one of the major problems of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority or MMDA. In line with this, the MMDA will begin the imposition of higher fines on illegal parking on Monday, January 7.
Pag strictly in-enforce mo, madadala ang tao. Madami tayong kababayan niya, ilang beses ko na sinabi, pag tapat ng bahay nila, yung kalsada at bangketa, akala nila sila may-ari. No? Pag hinuhuli yan, laging katwiran, 10 taon na kami nakaparada dyan, o 15 years na kami nakaparada dyan. No? So napakinabangan na nila ng matagal yan, siguro it's about time gobyerno na.
Under the MMDA Regulation Number 18-008, the penalty for attended illegally parked vehicles will be raised to 1,000 pesos from the previous 200 pesos. While the 500 peso penalty for unattended illegally parked vehicles will increase to 2,000 pesos. The penalty for obstruction of traffic will also be raised to 1,000 pesos from the previous 150 pesos. Yellow lane policy's penalty will also increase to 1,000 pesos from then 500 pesos. The MMDA previously imposed the higher penalties on illegal parking last December, but was postponed to give motorists enough time to adjust on the new policy. But some motorists argued that the imposition of higher penalties is unreasonable.
Malaki na masyado, ma'am eh. Medyo may kahirapan kasi matagal kitain yung 1,000, ma'am eh.
Sa amin talaga malaki yun, yung 1,000 illegal parking na yan. Mabuti kung lahat ng mga illegal hinuhuli, baka meron din namang pinipili lang yan.
On Monday, the MMDA is set to conduct another anti-illegal parking and clearing operations in various roads in Metro Manila and hoping that motorists will be more disciplined and responsible in parking their vehicles. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
It was a happy homecoming for the Wishfuls after their series of concerts in Dubai. Monoxon tells us why.
Fans welcomed the Wishfuls at the airport after their month-long concert series in Dubai. They started the concert series in the famous Boracay nightclub on November 30. Aside from the mini concert series, the Wishfuls also performed at the 90s Upload concert as a front act. This is also the first time that the Wishfuls are complete in attendance, performing outside the country. They said the out-of-the-country performance made their bonding stronger.
yung pagsasama-sama namin ng sobrang tagal. Kasi mas nakilala namin yung isa't isa. And mas nakita namin yung importance nung as one kami. Nung nagpunta kami doon, medyo nagkaroon ng hindi pagkakaunawaan. Pero naayos naman, tapos parang lalo kaming naging strong nga, nagmahalan ng lalo.
Although they were away from their family for more than a month, they didn't suffer homesickness.
Hindi namin na-feel na wala kaming pamilya doon dahil sa mait na pagtanggap sa amin doon ng mga OFW nating mga kababayan doon.
The group also shared their unforgettable experience in the concert.
Sobrang saya-saya lang namin nung nag-perform kami, lalo na yung mga naging kakolab namin yung mga 90s idols namin.
Yung sa 90s upload mismo, wherein sobrang honored po kami lahat na magkaroon po ng collaboration with the 90s artists.
As former aspirants in the singing competition, the Wishfuls gave word of encouragement for the Wishcovery contestants.
Gawin mo lang yung best mo para alam mo yun sa dulo nun, ano man yung mangyari, wala kang regrets kasi binigay mo lahat ng best mo.
Mahalaga yung practice talaga. Lagi kayong magpa-practice, aralin niyo yung mga kantang binibigay sa inyo. Maging masipag kayo sa ginagawa niyo, tapos mahalin niyo rin.
Just be yourself and just let them feel your heart. And syempre, unahin si Lord.
Stay humble kahit saan ka man makarating.
Disiplina, igalang po yung voice. And of course, laging i-offer kay Lord yung bawat performance.
The Wishfuls emerged as the top finalists on Wish 1075 online singing competition, Wishcovery. Their album Wishful Journey got gold and platinum recognition. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Up next on Y News.
He is now sa CIDG custody at pinoproseso na po at kinukunan ng salaysay.
One of the gunmen in the murder of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe surrenders to authorities. A rare giant sunfish washes up on Agusan del Norte town shore. And a Filipino designer Mac Tumang eyed for dressing up the next Miss Universe. Thank you for keeping me company in the first part of Y News. More reasons behind the stories with Angelo Castro III after this quick break. I'm Rheena Villamor-Camara. Good evening.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up from where Rheena Villamor-Camara left off. I'm Angelo Castro III. Here are the headlines.
He is now sa CIDG custody at pinoproseso na po at kinukunan ng salaysay.
One of the gunmen in the murder of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe yields to authorities. Senatorial aspirant Nery Colmenares denies he is a member of the New People's Army. And the camp of former Senator Bong Revilla insists they will not return more than 124 million pesos of civil liabilities despite the order of the Sandigan Bayan. One of the gunmen and an accomplice in the assassination of Congressman Rodel Batocabe and his police escort SPO2 Orlando Diaz are now under police custody. Authorities also maintain they did not invent the accusations against Daraga Mayor Carlwin Baldo, who was tagged as the brains behind the crime. Lea Ilagan tells us why.
One of the gunmen in murder of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe and his security detail SPO2 Orlando Diaz voluntarily yielded to authorities on Friday. Police Chief Superintendent Amador Corpuz of the PNP CIDG confirmed that former soldier Henry Yuson alias Romel surrendered to the Philippine Army Headquarters in Sorsogon on Thursday, January 3.
He is now sa CIDG custody at pinoproseso na po at kinukunan ng salaysay. And of course, Henry Uson has a standing warrant for rape with no bail recommended, and once na matapos po yung proseso sa amin, he will be turned over to the court of origin.
Meanwhile, another suspect, Jamin Babor, alias G, also surrendered. Babor served as one of the backup drivers of the gunman's getaway vehicles after the assassination. Corpus admitted that they have also received surrender feelers from 2 other suspects.
Meron po yung mga iba, and it's now being undertaken by joint SITG with IG and CIDG, and hopefully magkaroon po ng magandang developments.
So far, 3 suspects are yet to surrender, namely Rolando Arimado alias RR, who was among the gunmen, Danilo Muela alias Manoydan, who was considered an accessory to the crime, and Daraga Mayor Carlwin Baldo. Meanwhile, one of the backup drivers, Emmanuel Roselio alias Boboy, already gave his testimony to the police following his arrest on Thursday morning. He admitted his participation in plotting the assassination of the lawmaker.
He is now under our custody with the intelligence group at kinukunan na po ng salaysay. And initially admitted being involved in the plan.
The CIDG director maintains they did not invent the accusation against Daraga Mayor Baldo. Naming him as the mastermind was based on the testimonies of the witnesses and the gunmen themselves, according to the police officials. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Several residents in Dalaga, Albay expressed regret after the PNP tags Mayor Carlwin Baldo as the mastermind in the murder of Representative Rodel Batocabe. May Bermudez will tell us why.
Situation outside the Daraga Municipal Hall in Albay remains normal despite the PNP's identification of Mayor Carlwin Baldo as the mastermind in the murder case of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe and his security detail SPO2 Orlando Diaz. Baldo and Batocabe are supposed to race against each other as the town's mayor in the 2019 elections. Earlier, transactions and operation at the municipal hall still continue even if double murder and frustrated murder charges were filed against Baldo. Several Daragueños were sad over the controversy hounding the town. Some regret over who they say was supposed to lead Daraga.
Batocabe. Bakit? Kasi ano siya, simple lang yung tao.
Batocabe siyempre. Kasi marami siyang natulungan, di ba?
Nakakatakot na dito sa Daraga. Yun ang nararamdaman ng mga taga-Daragueños. Nakakatakot na kasi yun lang yung nangyari.
But some residents like SP said Mayor Baldo should not be judged this early.
Mahirap maghusga kasi. Ay, opo, mabait po siya.
Mayor Baldo denied the accusations, pointing him as the brains behind Batocabe's killing.
I assert my innocence. Let us not forget that while I'm being used as convenient scapegoat, those who are truly responsible for the crime remain free and blameless. I am an easy target, but that does not make me guilty of the crime. I am already being persecuted in the courts of public opinion.
He also sent his condolences to the families of Representative Batocabe and SPO2 Diaz.
A great injustice has been done, not only to Kong Batocabe and SPO2 Diaz, but also to their families, to the victims who were caught in the line of fire, and to the people of Daraga. But in our quest for justice, let us avoid committing injustice.
He also boasted about his track record as the mayor of the town of Daraga. May Bermudez, UNTV News and Rescue, Daraga, Albay.
The Commission on Elections has yet to decide on whether to place Daraga Albay under its control in the coming midterm elections. Here's why from Aiko Miguel.
The Commission on Elections is still contemplating on whether to put Daraga Albay under its control during the May 2019 polls following the developments in the murder case of Ako Bicol Party List Representative Rodel Batocabe. Comelec spokesperson Director James Jimenez says they are carefully evaluating the matter based on the current situation.
Mahirap naman na pag-decision tayo ngayon
based on a situation was existing 2 weeks ago, iba na pala ang sitwasyon ngayon. So, again, nagiging maingat lang din.
Nevertheless, the poll body assures it is not disregarding the recommendation of regional Comelec officials in the area and President Rodrigo Duterte to place Daraga under the agency's watch. Jimenez clarifies, however, that part of their decision will consider the surrender of the gunmen in the Batucabe slay.
Merong existing recommendation ang ating local Comelec, so that will have to be ruled on. But then again, we also have to consider na nag-i-evolve din yung sitwasyon. So, baka kailangan din konsiderahin ng Comelec yan.
Based on Comelec rules, an area is placed under Comelec control in the event of intense political rivalry and violence that could jeopardize the conduct of a peaceful and orderly election. The poll body will release its final decision on January 13, 2019, coinciding with the official start of the election period prior to the May 2019 elections. Meanwhile, Kabayan Party List Representative Ron Salo appeals to the Department of the Interior and Local Government and the Philippine National Police to file an urgent petition to the poll body for the prompt placement of Daraga Albay under its control. Salo argued that resorting to violence and worse killing a political opponent so as to ensure electoral victory is the highest form of savagery. The Solon added that the mastermind and his co-principals in the crime should be immediately made legally accountable. He concluded that this is a crucial step in attaining justice for the late Congressman Rodel and his family, as well as to the people of Daraga. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Senatorial aspirant Nery Colmenares faced Daniel Razon in his program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon this morning. The former lawmaker denied that he is a member of New People's Army, as their group is now being tagged as part of the communist group. Grace Casin will tell us why.
Election lawyer and former Congressman Nery Colmenares directly answered all questions in the program Get It Straight with Daniel Razon today. One of the questions that Kuya Daniel Razon asked him is the allegations against him and his group as member of the Communist Party of the Philippines, New People's Army.
And, honestly, hindi ka ba NPA?
Of course not. Nandito tayo ngayon.
Diba, para at least alam lang natin. Kasi maraming NPA, no permanent address. Di ba? Pero
yes, so marami yan sa Tondo. Kaya
pero totoo, hindi ka NPA?
Hindi.
Never been?
Never been.
Pero hindi ka rin talaga kasama sa... Pero naka-front ka ba talaga o...
Wala, front, back, or sideways. Wala.
Colmenares is one of the senatorial aspirants in the 2019 midterm elections. This is the second time he is aspiring to get a seat in the Senate. He is not yet in the Magic 12, but is now in number 20 among 100 senatorial aspirants. The former lawmaker also admitted that he lacks financial sources to back him up and cannot have advertisements like his opponents. But he emphasized that his principle, dignity, and accomplishments will be his edge among them.
Pag tama-tama, pag mali-mali.
Meanwhile, Colmenares fears that the election fraud might spread in the coming elections due to the acquittal of former President and now House Speaker Gloria Arroyo. He said it sends a wrong message to the people.
Frustrated ka din doon sa nangyaring desisyon sa electoral sabotage case ni GMA.
Very frustrated.
How would this affect, sa tingin mo, ang electoral process natin?
Ang sama ng message kasi. Ang message, ang problema sa Pilipinas is impunity. Tingin ko, as a human rights lawyer, noon pa yan. Meaning, people commit crimes and get away with it. Eh, yung message sa kay now Speaker Gloria Arroyo, pwede ka palang mag-electoral fraud and after, akala namin sa Kongreso kami noon, ang lakas ng ebidensya. 2007 election, Kuya Daniel, I was in Maguindanao. I was one of the lawyers na nagpunta doon. Delikado pala yung Maguindanao. At that time, wala pang Maguindanao massacre. At nakakita ako doon, presinto, 2,000 boto. Saan ka nakakita ng presinto na 2,000 ang boto? In favor of the administration. So, 200 lang naman ang botante sa isang presinto. Manual pa kasi noon eh. So, we thought it was very strong.
So you're looking forward na kung sakali ang election na to na 2019 ay matatagtad na naman ang dayaan, ganun ba?
Yes, what?
But the Commission on Elections assures the credibility of the upcoming midterm election.
I speak for the Commission comfortably and with confidence when I say that the Commission will always be fair and transparent in our dealings with the candidates.
Grace Casin, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The camp of Bong Revilla insists that the former senator will not return the more than 124 million pesos of civil liabilities to the National Treasury as ordered by the Sandigan Bayan when it acquitted Revilla of plundered charges in relation to the pork barrel scam. John Nano tells us why.
In December 2018, the Sandigan Bayan acquitted former Senator Ramon Bong Revilla Jr. of plunder over his involvement in the multi-billion pork barrel scam. Likewise, the anti-graft court ordered the former senator to return 1.24.5 million of civil liabilities to the National Treasury. According to Revilla's legal counsel, Attorney Rio D. Anthony Balisi, the dispositive portion of the Sandigan Bayan's decision was clear that only those found guilty were required to return the amount in Revilla's case. It should be Janet Lim Napoles and Revilla's former aide, Richard Cambe.
All those who are criminally liable are civilly liable. So with these qualifications in the dispositive portion of the decision of the Sandigan Bayan, you apply Article 100 based on the discussion above. Is Senator Bong criminally liable? He is not.
Revilla's wife, Bacoor City Mayor Lani Mercado, supports this argument and maintains that her husband has no obligation to return the said amount.
Siya naman po ay acquitted, so I don't think yun po ay that particular item doesn't apply to him. Wala po, according to our legal team, hindi po ganun po yung interpretation po ng marami sa nagsasabi.
The former senator meanwhile maintains that he did not steal anything from the people's money and that everything he has as a citizen he earned from years of being an actor prior to his entry to national politics.
Lahat po ng mayroon ako ay bunga ng aking dugo at pawis sa pag-aartista. Simula pa lamang na ako'y 10 taong gulang. Sa mga panahong karamihan ay natutulag pa. Ako po ay kumakayod na para kumita. At yan nga ang napatunayan ng hukuman na wala akong ninakaw ni sentimo mula sa taong bayan.
Despite the controversies hounding her husband, Mercado says she appreciates that Revilla remains among the top 10 senatorial candidates in current surveys. Based on the latest survey by the social weather station, Revilla ranks 7th.
Well, ako po ay lubusang nagpapasalamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta at tumatangkilik sa kanya. Bagamat maraming mga naganap nung nakaraan, ang tiwala ng tao at pagmamahal ay nandyan pa rin. So maraming salamat sa mga patuloy na nagmamahal kay Senator Bong.
Since the former senator's acquittal, the Revilla family has been enjoying a normal life according to Mercado. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
A giant sunfish estimated to be more than 6 feet long ends up dead in the waters of Buena Vista town in Agusan del Norte. Nel Maribuhok tells us why.
Residents in the coastal village of Manapa in Buena Vista, Agusan del Norte woke up astonished when they saw a giant fish that washed up on their shore early Thursday morning. Rodel Tagud, who was among those who first saw the fish, said they hesitated on whether to approach the creature first, believing it was a shark. They decided later on to bring it back to the waters, but the beach fish was too weak to swim on its own.
Matang pag-ubog na mo. Yan ako nga, part, palayo kay basigiho na. Nya, ang kauban ako, matras, muluol. Ay, dako ligay ko lagi na silik. Ang sabot mi nga part, guyudo na to sa daplin. Pag dalan mo sa daplin, nakaana mi nga. Sa mga isda, karon mo matakitaan ni dire.
Village officials then reported the stranding incident to the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources. However, the fish died before agency representatives can reach the village. The dead fish was buried by the bay. Conchita Tagud, who has been living in Manapa village for 30 years now, said this is the first time that a giant fish got stranded on their shore.
Wala ko ka kuan dihag nabay isda nga mga dunggo din sa amo dapit. Mo pala pinakadako. Mo na pinakadako isda ang dunggo dire.
According to BIFAR, the fish is called an ocean sunfish, estimated to be 6 feet long and weighing more than 200 kilos. The sunfish or mola in local dialect is the heaviest known bony fish in the world and stays deep in the ocean. It can only be seen when they come up to the surface, usually when sick.
They happen to strand when kung merong mga something wrong sa tamak nila, may na-intake na mga plastic, ganun. Then sa waves din sir, yung gumagamit ng mga dinamita.
Based on the data gathered by the Ocean Sunfish Org that studies this species, sunfish are usually found in tropical waters, can grow up to 10 feet long, and can live up to 23 years. Before he is now contemplating on whether to dig up the sunfish to study the possible cause of its death. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Filipino designer Mac Tumang continues to gain attention in the international scene after his works were showcased by Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray. Leslie Longbowen tells us why.
The new Miss Universe is Philippines!
Apart from her beauty, Miss Universe 2018 Catriona Gray stood out in her gowns in the pageant. The Filipino Aussie beauty's best assets and features were showcased in Filipino designer Mac Tumang pieces. Last week, 3 of the stunning outfits of the country's 4th Miss Universe were featured at a mall exhibit in Pampanga. These include the red-hot mayon gown she wore during her crowning moment as Miss Universe 2018, a Darna gown at the preliminaries, and Sina gown during her victory in Binibining Pilipinas. And for the beauty of the masterpieces, the Kapampangan designer is starting to gain attention in the international scene. He has been receiving messages and calls from other countries over design works.
When I was in the Impact Arena, in Bangkok, may mga ibang countries na nagparamdam. And there are other candidates or other from organizations from different countries. They are messaging me in Instagram and in my social media.
Filipinos, meanwhile, are proud of the designer's success.
Sobrang ganda kasi makikita mo lang siya sa picture ang ganda. Pero pag nakita mo personal, sobrang ganda. Lalo na nakasuot na din ako ng gown ni Mac.
Proud na proud po kami kasi Kapampangan po siya at Kapampangan.
Though Mac was not expecting this kind of attention, he is thankful for the blessing he received.
Parang halos lang kakakilala na ako. Pero yung gravity, hindi pa lang nararamdaman talaga.
Tumang is planning to create a gallery for Catriona's gowns, including his other masterpieces. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Up next on Y News. U.S. and China to hold trade talks in Beijing next week.
We're not tone deaf to the concerns in many communities of color that feel that maybe they could be targeted. I mean, it's a reality that it does happen.
Texas police now investigating the drive-by shooting in Houston that killed a 7-year-old girl. And 2 Wishcoveries from Camp Verni Saturno advance to the next round of Wishcovery Season 2, The Singer and the Song. More reasons behind the stories when Y News returns.